Talking about the Canik Mete MC9. This is a subcompact, micro-compact style 9mm pistol made by Canik. This gun is pretty interesting. It comes with a lot out of the box. It offers a potentially very good value. Full ambi controls, reversible magazine release, optics ready, comes with a lot of stuff in the box, comes with 2 mags, comes with a pretty basic holster, which I forgot to bring out with me to the range today. So we're just going to be plinking while we talk about this. And comes with some different back straps, has a really nice trigger, loaded chamber indicator, magazine disconnect. Magazine disconnect is easy to remove. But when this gun first came out on the market in California, they put out billboards, which really got some people of certain political alignments all hot and bothered. So that was kind of cool. And I thought it was really cool to see mainstream public advertising campaigns all over the state about a gun. That was it was really cool. I think that was a good thing for exposing people to firearms. After the initial uproar, no one talked about it. I've not seen any reviews on it. The reviews on the non-California model that I've seen have been a little bit hit or miss. And my experience with this gun has been good. The experience of some newer shooters that I've put into people's hands has been okay, but let's just shoot a mag or two out of this gun real quick, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Kilt and discreets. So I find that while this gun is a micro compact, it's, in my opinion, it shoots better. The shooting feels better than a lot of other guns on the market in a similar size. I like my P365 XL way more. I like my wife's P365 Rose more, but the trigger on this gun is rather nice. So I took the magazine disconnect out of this. It's very easy to do. If you take a look when you open the gun up, you'll be able to figure out what little lever is the magazine disconnect. You push a pin out and it comes out. So the trigger, it's pretty light on the uptake, pretty clear wall, and then it breaks. But that uptake, it's a little mushy. I could feel a few things that could get worked out over time. But the trigger pull is very light. It's very easy to not manipulate the gun when pulling the trigger. So for a striker fire gun, I actually kind of like it. The shooting feel, the recoil, obviously it's a small gun. It's got a little bit of pop. It's got a little bit of kick to it, but shoots fine. Now, what I'm shooting today is 115 grain, and I know a lot of people have reached out to me since talking about this, and I've seen a lot of people talk about these guns just not working. Out of the box, I know a lot of people have had experiences with these guns just straight up not working. Now, in my hands, I have not gotten this gun to not go off when I pull the trigger and not cycle around successfully. I've put personally about maybe 300-400 rounds through this gun. Every single one of those times that there was a round in the chamber, I pulled the trigger, it went bang, and it either locked open on the last round or fed a new one and went bang again. However, I noticed that when I've been taking new people out to the range recently. One of my friends, good friend of mine, good friend of my wife's, he was interested in firearms, and so I brought the Shield and this gun out. And when he was shooting these 115s that I'm shooting today, there were several instances where the slide did not go all the way back into battery, and the gun would go click, and the slide would close all the way, and it wouldn't go off, which I'm glad that it didn't go off. You're not getting out of battery detonations, but the gun was still clicking. I'll see if I can kind of like set that up to show you what was happening, but it was happening to him. I was like, okay, maybe it's just, the gun was still pretty new. Maybe I had like 100 rounds through it at that point. So I thought I would shoot it some more, and I shot it. Didn't happen to me again, but I was shooting 124s that were a little bit spicier. These 115s that I'm shooting right now, they're pretty soft. Like they're like a 129 power factor for those of you familiar with that. Whereas typical 115s are probably like a 135 or a 132 at the minimum. But what was happening was he was pulling the trigger. It was going bang. It was cycling, ejecting, and it was coming to about here. So So it would go like that. And what would happen was you would get this, sometimes you get a light little indent. Didn't get an indent on this one here, But let's set that up again, and I'll just kind of show you. The fix was, you know, when they were shooting, if that happened, I told them just, hey, give it a little tap on the back. So it would just go like that. And that's obviously not ideal because you want the gun to go off. So in my hands, I've never had that happen, and I'm going to try to implement that here. So you saw there, if I'm literally, I'm going to go on this side of the camera. So I am literally pinking it here. So it's still hard for me to get it to happen. I'm going to try to pull the trigger with less force. So I got it to happen once, but that's the only time that I've had this happen to me personally. But it was happening to him a few times, and then the second time I took him out, I think it happened like a couple times to him. But his fiance happened to her quite a few times. And, you know, I don't know if it's a limp wristing thing. I don't know if they were just getting unlucky. But for me, I've not had it be an issue. But I have heard a variety of negative things when it comes to these guns if they actually run. So my experience with it has been good. You know, I'm at about 12 yards right now shooting this target. So I'll shoot a little group. We'll show you that. The recoil impulse on it, in my opinion, for a subcompact, micro-compact size gun, I'm perfectly happy with how it shoots. The trigger on it is rather nice. These guns are very budget friendly. They're affordable. If you get one and it works, I think this would be a fantastic gun for the kind of person that just wants to buy a gun, have one in the home, maybe shoot it every once in a while, and that's it. You don't really want to be a gun person. You don't want to think about, oh, like, you know, it comes with a holster, comes with a little tiny cleaning kit, comes with some tools to take it apart and to work on it, and I think that's really cool. So with the short mag in, I'm just going to shoot at the head box at about 12 yards right here. I'm going to turn this dot down. I got a cyelee RMSc pattern dot on it. It's the Cat SRS 6 Pro, which is a little bit more astigmatism friendly. And then coupled with my Heatwave prescription sunglasses, it is perfect. So let's just... I shanked that one way low left. Jesus. 3 rounds ago, I also threw another one low, but let's go take a look at those real quick. My point of aim was basically this paster right here, and we had 4 in it, and, you know, the dot's wobbling around. So, you know, for me, like that group size at 12 yards with a gun this size, I'm perfectly happy with it without, you know, really trying to group it to any crazy precision. But we're going to step back to 25 now. I'm going to turn this dot down even lower, and I'm going to take my time here. Threw that one low. Again. So, taking a look at this here, I've only ever zeroed this at 10 yards and just very roughly. So the zero could be off, who knows really, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that could be an oblong, who knows. There could be more than 3 in there. But hitting a head box at 25 yards, I think that's perfectly acceptable. So accuracy wise, I think this gun is fine. I don't have a whole lot of time with it. The capacity, I know that in other states you can get larger mags, so I think this would typically hold like 13. And then I think you can even get like 15 or even 17 round mags. There's some magazine compatibility with this that I'm not aware of, but for me, I'm limited to 10 because those are the only magazines that I have for this gun. So if you had whatever mags during Freedom Week, I don't know if they existed, but if you have other mags, you could use them with this gun potentially. But it comes with 2, one with the extension and then one that would fit flush. But it also comes with a little pinky extension, which for me is ideal because it allows me to actually get my 3rd finger on the gun. Getting more hand on the gun is always preferred. I put the larger back strap on it so I can get a little bit more palm in on this support hand and get a little bit more grip on it. My main concern with this gun is quality control and longevity. I have seen Scott from Route 66, who I trust very much. Scott has told me or posted on Reddit that a lot of their guns, I think they got about 4 or 5 of these into the shop. And I think out of the 5, only one of them is currently operational and still on a demo as a demo. They got 5 of them in order to get one of them to be operational. So he's been, basically publicly saying, we do not recommend this gun. They tend to not work. So I don't know if the light strikes not going into battery thing is like that they're sensitive to certain ammunition. I reached out to Canik when my friends first had that issue, and I told them, hey, I got a couple hundred rounds to the gun and they're still getting this issue. I didn't mention that it's not happening to me. Obviously, I'm a much more advanced shooter than they are. Seeing as one of them, it was their first time shooting, and one of them, it was their first and second time shooting ever. I was just mostly focused on them pointing the gun in the right direction, and they did great. But it seems like these guns can be a little bit hit or miss. So these guns are made in Turkey. I know some of the Caniks are made in USA. This is not one of them. Let's just burn through these 2 mags pretty quickly and just see what we can do speed-wise. These targets are pretty shot up, but we'll do our best. So it's on a small gun like this, it's pretty tough to get your hand on it in order to get a grip to consistently just have the dot track up and down. So what I'm seeing when I'm seeing this dot, I'm seeing it flash off to the side and back down around. And sometimes it goes this way and it's like kind of alternating. It's tough for me to get a proper grip pressure to get it to just track easily. But now keep in mind, there are already some shots not in the A zone. We were only at like maybe 7 yards here, but this one was already off. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots out of the A zone when there were already probably 2 or 3 shots out of the A zone. So out of 20 rounds, just blasting, it's controllable and going to last. I don't know if this is going to be a kind of gun for the person that shoots a lot, but I am also hesitant because with that same concern comes, if the gun isn't going to be reliable for someone that shoots a lot, is the person that doesn't shoot very much, what if it stops working at the point that they actually need it? So it's my main concern. Those are my thoughts on the Canik MC9. The dot has held 0 perfectly. I mean, these cyelee dots have been pretty good. They sent me out this for free. I got the gun from Omma Distribution. They just opened up a new gun store in Canik, California. So go check them out. Check out Omma. They had this sitting on the shelf for a while and they're like, hey, we got 2 of these. They haven't moved. Do you want to test one out for free? And I was like, sure. So this is my gun. I get to keep it. Shout out to Omma. I will be working there about once a month behind the counter. So if you want to come see me in Sonoma County, check out Omma Distribution. I will be posting the next time that I'll be in there, probably sometime in September. But yeah, check them out. This gun, in my experience, has been pretty good for me in my hands. In inexperienced shooters, sometimes it wasn't going all the way into battery. Could have been a limp wristing issue. Could have just been a gun issue. But now at this point, I've probably got about 400 or 500 rounds of my personal time with it. I'm just ballpark estimating this round count here. But in my experience, I've not really had any issues other than when I was trying to induce a malfunction earlier. So I like it, but I'm just a little hesitant to recommend it, even though I think this could be a good gun for someone that just wants a gun, doesn't want to worry about finding holsters for it, doesn't want to worry about cleaning kits. You just buy this gun, you buy some lubricant and solvent, ear pro, eye pro, and now you're a gun owner. Go to the range, shoot, get good. If you're experiencing any issues, contact Canik. They have really fast, good customer service in my experience. But yeah, I'm just a little bit hesitant to give this one a full hard recommend, but it's got potential.